Here at Two Cowboys, we're recognizing there's a change in the way that people are conducting themselves in the boundary, because we're getting a little more sophisticated here. We are drinking fancy coffee. When I say fancy coffee, in the old days, all you had is walk in, you have some drip coffee, you put some cream, some sugar, and off you go. And most people call that cowboy coffee. But in the boundary now, we've got lots of choices. Greenwood's got 3 coffee shops. We've got Grand Forks with coffee. We've got Rock Creek with coffee. So I thought it might be worthwhile, just for those of you that are new to the experience of coffee, just to go through some of the basics so that you have an idea what to look for when you buy your coffee. I'm talking about espresso coffee. I'm not talking about, moer coffee. Afrikaans, we call it moer coffee. You moer it, you chuck some stuff in and you boil it, and then you get some thick black paste and you call that coffee. That's not coffee. We're talking about fancy coffee, Italian coffee, espresso, latte, demistasis. Why do the Cowboys give you that advice? Frankly, we've traveled the world. We've seen the good coffees, we serve the good coffees, and we enjoy the good coffees. And let's face it, coffee is a fairly personal thing. However, if you're graduating to good coffee, then there's a few things you need to keep in mind. First thing, what is a good coffee? Simple answer, it's the coffee you like. There is basically a few simple things that your barista or your local coffee connoisseur serving establishment needs to adhere to. Otherwise, they're not treating you right as a customer. And I'm going to run you through that quickly. Your barista makes it the way you want it. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, you have to have fresh beans. This one was roasted literally 6 days ago. And we don't serve any beans that are older than 2 weeks. They serve you the vacuum packed stuff that comes from Europe, don't go there. Next, make sure they tune their grinders in the morning, and I'll show you the kind of shot that people need to give you. Otherwise, the grinder is just not doing the job that it should be doing. Make sure they have a clean environment. If this steam one is not polished, clean, perfect, walk away, because that thing creates more upset stomachs than anything around the coffee world. Calcium builds up here, bacteria lives in that calcium, and if they don't, number one is they don't wipe it, they don't clean it every time after they steam it. But if calcium builds up there, there's bacteria in there, I guarantee you upset stomach. That's guaranteed. The other thing, the type of machine they use, not really that important. You get expensive machines, you get less expensive machines. However, they need to know what they do with that machine, and I'm going to pull a few shots here to show you the difference between a properly pulled shot of espresso, that's the foundation of your coffee, versus some that's not so right. And to be honest with you, it affects the taste. 3 comparisons. How do you know it's a good coffee? Obviously, you need to taste it right, but here's the 3. This one has run too fast. There is not enough of the actual crema, and you'll probably taste that this one is going to be bitter and watery. This is a better shot. That shot is probably the kind of color that you're looking for, with a nice fine foam on top. It's a good crema. If I pull a shot, I would go with this one. That one's a little bit on the darker side, means the beans are fresh. It means it's caramelly, it's got a good foam, it's got a good crema on top. And if you're making a milk-based coffee or you're drinking a pure espresso, that's the one. This is what you're looking for. Flat, not so good, perfect. You might ask, what style of coffee is a good style of coffee? The reality is you can choose. At HQ we do flat white, cappuccino, latte, piccolo. We do mochaccino. We can go on with the different types of Italian names that they throw at it. The reality of the thing is, it's all basically coffee with milk, but done in certain styles. The amount of coffee, the amount of milk. Coffee being either fluffy, foamy, with cinnamon, with chocolate, not with chocolate, stronger, not so strong, richer milk, not so rich milk. The opportunity and the combinations are endless. And you can even come up with some of your own names. So that is where it gets a little snooty around the coffee game. But the bottom line is, don't worry about that. Let the barista make you the coffee you want. So, in summary, drink good coffee. A good coffee is a coffee you like. Make sure the beans are fresh, because if you don't have fresh beans, you're paying for black water with milk. If the beans are fresh, you're paying for good quality caffeine with a good taste, nice and creamy, and you get the thing you want in the mornings. Thirdly, know your barista. Your barista is the guy who's going to make this for you, or the lady, obviously, and there's a whole lot of art that goes into this. When you know your barista and you realize it's not a tidy, clean barista, walk away. If that machine, if that work setup is not squeaky clean, because it's a food establishment anyways, your coffee is not going to be what it should be. And then after that, make them your friend. Because a good barista, a good coffee shop is like a good barman. They always listen to your stories, they're always there for you, and if they care, they make your cup of coffee. That's important. That's the kind of thing we do here on the Boundary, we do in Greenwood, we do in Rock Creek, is we make your cup of coffee. That's why I want you to come and visit us. Not just my coffee, but everybody else's coffee in this area. Come and try it.